You ever watch a movie or a TV show and think to yourself, well, who wrote this? Like who was this written for? Like I don't understand why this is on my screen right now. Because in no universe, world, or planet, state, province that I know of at least is this woman the biological mother of this man. It's in the show though. Happens in the show. It happens. That happens in this show. Roll film. Kings of Joburg. The Kings of Joburg stars Shauna Ferguson, Zolisa Aluva, Connie Ferguson, and TK Sebotoma. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Please don't kill me if I don't. So Kings of Joburg. Kings of Joburg follows the story of the Masiri brothers, one of which is in jail at the beginning of the show, and he gets released, trying to turn a new leaf from the crime world. The Masiri brothers are essentially, the biggest criminals in Johannesburg. They are at the top of the crime, the crime lords. They're at the top. They basically the mafia of Joburg. Sean Ferguson's character is the rich one. He's basically the leader. He's the godfather of this ensemble of criminals in Joburg. One of the brothers, Mo, played by Zolisa Aluva, is in prison at the beginning of the show, and he took the fall for them 10 years ago. He took the blame for all the heists and so on and so forth, so that he could walk free. However, they kind of didn't visit him. Which is weird, but they didn't visit him in prison. They didn't send him any money or like provide any protection. So there's already like some tension happening as is released in the beginning of this episode, and yeah, and that is essentially our story, I guess. Like I don't know. Like it's very hard to pinpoint the plot of this or the direction at least of the show because it's just so all over the place. Like he gets released. The he doesn't want to go back to his brothers because he's upset that they didn't help him out when he was in prison. On the other side, he's conducting a heist, and then on the one side, the brothers getting released. No one is picking him up, so naturally he's very upset. One thing I should mention though, I don't know if this is like a spoiler or anything like that. I mean, I guess you see it in the trailer. He is essentially possessed by a demon, Simon, which is Shauna Ferguson's character. He's essentially like possessed by a demon, and yeah, so he has to like sort of deal with that, and that's essentially like the plot ish. I'm pretty sure that's it. Like it was very hard to pinpoint. Like you see, that's the thing. That's what I want to talk about. This is why we're reviewing this movie or this show. It's very hard to pinpoint like which direction the show wants to take. There's like a love interest in the beginning. Right off the bat, there's a love interest, there's some tension, there's people trying to kill people, and I'm just like not sure where the show wants to go, like what story it wants to tell, because there's just so many like branches of story that are like laid out in this plane and throughout the show, but none of it like grows into something that is fulfilled. Like none of it grows into something that is concluded eventually at the end of the show. It's also very unclear who the real protagonist is. I mean, they play off that Shauna's character Simon is the actual like leader of the group. In the beginning of the episode, Shauna's character Simon is on a heist, and he I don't see, that's the thing about this show, bro. None of it makes sense. You know what? Like, wait, let me just show you. Tell me how you would explain this. Explain to me, write down in the comment section. Tell me how you would explain what this is. Because they never explain it in the whole entire show, right? Just have a look. Have a look. Like, what is that? Like, dude just walks in, his eyes turn all crystally and his teeth turn all Wolverine clawy, and then all of a sudden it's a heist. He took the diamonds. Like, how does that even? I don't understand. You see, like that's what I said in the intro of this video. It's like, who was this written for? Like, you gotta think sometimes, man. Like, you gotta just think to yourself, like, do these creators like, do they respect their audience? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like the thing in the beginning of the video that I was talking about. the mother and the son thing. Like, no way, bro. No way. She is 30 years old, I think. Yeah, she's 30 years old, right? And he's 26. And they don't even try to like dress up the fact that she might, they don't even try to age her. They don't try to age her at all. Like, it's just so weird for me. Like, it's almost like they didn't try. It's almost like they didn't. Anyway, so another thing is it gives me a vibe of westernization, like it's a lot, like the way they conduct things in the show is not how South Africans conduct things, right? I'll give you an example. Like, there is absolutely no way, right, a skr in a Polo Vivo is wielding a sniper rifle. That just does not happen. I have heard of people being assassinated in Joburg, and not once, not one time have I heard of someone being killed with a sniper rifle. I mean, I'm no expert in weapons, or what criminals use for weapons. But what I know for sure is that we do not use sniper rifles. Do you know what I mean? So it's just one of those things that it very takes me out of the story. It removes me completely out of the story, because I know that someone in Joburg does not use a sniper rifle. Like, if I think this would have worked better if it was a movie, a 2 hour movie with all the nonsense sliced away, because they try so many stories in one. There's a love story with Mo. There is a death in the family. There's a love story with the child. There is a separate family altogether, and then all of those end up not being resolved because there's too many of them. So none of the stories get resolved or have conclusion because there's so many of them. Like, and it's even hard to like follow them. So I think the film, I'm even calling it a film. I think the show would have done better if they sliced all of those things away and just kept it to a 2 hour film. It would have been a good time. It would have been a fun time, I think, with better acting maybe and some better writing. But I'm a big fan of the plot. I'm a big fan of the premise. I really am. I just think it was executed horribly. Like, it could have been so much better. It has good potential. They just try to westernize it too much. Like, again, with the sniper rifle, that stuff. No, we don't do that. I think the story would have possibly done better were it like vernac only. Like, if it was like either in just Zulu or Tswana or Sepedi or whatever languages they speak. I think it would have been better, because then at least the dialogue is closer to home. The metaphors, the way we say things, the way we talk, what we say, because sometimes language sort of informs dialogue, right? It informs how something is said. You know what I mean? And when it's English, unfortunately, our influence is Western, it's America, so naturally we're gonna be trying to be like witty and funny in a foreign language. To be honest, it really is a foreign language. So I think the show would have done better if it just stuck to traditional South African things. Let's talk about the dialogue. Oh my goodness! Wow. Every scene you see, it's like, I see what you were going for, but it didn't land. Like, oh my God. Oh man, like every time someone is supposed to drop like a definitive line, like like a punchline, it just like, man, I could see what you were doing, but it just didn't land. Like, it just didn't do the thing it needed to do. I look at it, and they drop the line, and you look at it, and you're just like, no, no, I do not believe you. It's very hard to get through it. I will say that. I will say that it's just not the best thing to be watching on your own. Maybe with your buddies, have a couple of beers, watch it. I don't know. Quite cringe most of the time. Most of the time, it's cringe because like there's this guy, this dude. My God, he showed up to read. He no inflections, no performance, no. It's just reading. No, Simon, he is going to come to kill us. Oh, bro. I'm sorry. It's just so much for me. It's just I just can't deal. Chub shows up in this, and that's like, it's Chub again, man. Like, I don't know, man. Like, do we forgive that guy? Like, is he like forgiven now? Like, it's done. Like, I feel like he's doing too well for someone who got out of prison like recently. Like it's just I don't know. But yeah, anyway, he's in the show as well. Like obviously he contributes absolutely nothing to the show because no one is contributing anything to the show. Again, who wrote this? Anyway, so Jub is just yeah, he's some guy in it who has money and spends it at the club. And then yeah, that's I really don't know what his plot was, or maybe I'm forgetting. I don't know. He if he was not in the show at all. In fact, actually, let me not. If a million of the things in the show weren't in the show, it wouldn't have mattered because the show is really bad. Like it just doesn't make any sense, man. But in the end, it's very clear that the show was not planned. It was not well written. It seems like it was a very much a rush job. There's some stuff that happens at the end that just gives away that they ran out of money. I'm not going to mention who, but one of the characters just disappears. Kind of, they never show their face again. I can see how this can be pitched, and people could like be like, yeah, that'd be a good time. Like I said in the beginning, like the premise of it makes sense. Like I can see how it looks good on paper, but the execution, man, was just atrocious. Like it's just so much doesn't make sense, guys. There's, there's this dude who comes in. He's from America, right? He's supposed to come in and take over Joburg, right? He is a yeah. I don't even. You see, like there's a. I literally saw the show a couple hours ago, right? And I still can't tell you why that guy was in. As far as I know, he's there to take over Joburg and take over Simon's sort of situation in Joburg, like take his helm, take his throne. And he comes there, he kind of looks like him, he's like bald head, he's taller, like a better version of Simon, like protagonist 2.0. And he's just out there to like with his cheesy American lines. It's just oh my goodness, just doesn't make any sense. I think it was just a thing. Let's get like two guys that kind of look alike to fight at the end so that we can have a finale and a final battle, and that's that. You know what I mean? A lot of it just feels like it was trying to be cool. It was trying to be vibey. It was trying to be, ahead of its time. And in the end, it just fell flat on its face because it wasn't well looked after. In the end, guys, it was a really bad show, and you can check it out if you want to have a couple of giggles, a couple of laughs. But yeah, it wasn't the best show. But yeah, so for me, Kings of Joburg gets a solid D minus. Alright, if you guys enjoyed that video, please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any of the future videos. And click the like button, click the bell as well so you get notifications, all that lovely stuff. And I'll see you on the next review.